All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about this. So, a few things happened over the weekend. So, we had Trump going to McDonald's and serving up some French fries. He cooked up some fries and then served up some people. And we had Kamala uh, telling people to, that they're at the wrong rally after they said Jesus is Lord. And then some other stuff happened, and then we got Tim Pool, Timcast IRL came out on he had a show last night. Said that he wasn't sure if he was going to do the show. Said that it is quite possible that it's going to be his last show. Sucks. Sad day for all that. I like Tim Pool. I've watched his Timcast for a long time. Not a subscriber. Um, but I have watched it. It was one of the shows that I pulled up while I was working and listened to while I was working. So kind of sucks, But from his little explanation that he gave last night, I I can understand, I guess. But there's still questions out there as to what's going to happen as far as like his fan base and his subscribers. But we'll get into a few things here. First, we're just gonna I want to show this Trump going to McDonald's. He cooked up some fries, served them to some people in the drive-through. Media having a field day with it. They were not happy. He trolled Kamala. This is pretty much what it was. It was trolling Kamala. He said at the end of it, he worked there for like 15 minutes. Then he said, "I've worked at McDonald's 15 minutes longer than Kamala ever has." I think it was an epic troll. Was it staged? Yeah, of course it was. Was it a political thing? Yeah, of course it was. Media's having a field day with it, but I mean, I think it was epic. I thought it was great. And he talked to some people and he talked to the press and you know, un- it's more than what I can say for Kamala because she would never do anything like this. So, hey, we'll take a look and we'll get into it. Check this out.
Oh, I think that's good, Jordan.
Slowly, gently lowered into the oil. Don't want to burn yourself. Up, down a little bit further.
It was a big part of her resume that she worked at McDonald's, how tough a job it was. She specifically worked at the French fry, where they make the French fries, and she talked about the heat. It was so tough. She never worked at McDonald's. McDonald's just confirmed that again, by the way. She never worked at McDonald's. In other words, she's lying Kamala. You never even touch it, huh?
Exactly.
I was always wondering, wow, that's pretty good to go like that.
We will give them salt packets.
What's this sucker? They look like they were. How are you? Nice to see you. That's great. Thank you, man.
Appreciate all the
Thank you very much. Fantastic. Hello.
This is my new baby boy.
How are you? Your new baby. How are you?
Doing great.
How are you? So this is compliments of me, okay? Thank you very much. How long have you had it?
This location about
Yes.
a year. I've been an
Okay.
operator for 12 years.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it.
Check this out.
I mean, was it? Sure. I mean, like I said, was it political? Sure it was. Like I said, the mainstream media's had a just they're just going off about this thing, and it was staged, and it was a closed day for that McDonald's. Well, I don't know any McDonald's that's actually closed on a particular. I know they close up at like sometimes depending on the location, it's midnight. Um, Sometimes it's 11. I don't know. I don't know their hours. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of McDonald's. I do go there mostly for I've got kids that like it, so I'm not a big fan of McDonald's. But Trump is. I mean, I know he likes his McDonald's. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If he wants to go to McDonald's, that's on. That's fine. Like I said, personally, I'm not a big fan of. I do like their breakfast, but they got a couple good menu items, I guess. But for the most part, I'm not a big fan of McDonald's. I don't personally eat there a whole lot. Like I said, my kids like it, but I don't know. I don't know any kids that don't care for it really. So anyway, I uh, check this. Now, like I said, the media's having a field day over this. They're just saying it was staged, and of course it was, and it was it was a closed day for that McDonald's. Like I said, I don't know any McDonald's that have closed days, but hey, there could be some out there that do. Personally, though, I think that McDonald's actually closed that day so that he could come in there and do that, because you got to think there's been assassination attempts on this guy, and security for this has got to be just crazy. I mean, they had guys inside, there's guys outside. Security for this is got to be kind of hard, and the crowd sizes that were there, the crowd size that was there was just insane. There was people across the street that were just, I mean, it was nuts. It was pretty cool, in my opinion. I thought it was great. Was it political? Sure, it was. Excuse me, but I mean, check this out. We'll just.
A Harris spokesperson responded by saying, when Trump feels desperate, all he knows how to do is lie. He can't understand what it's like to have a summer job because he was handed millions on a silver platter only to blow it. On the other hand, there are other people who I've heard say, you know what, it makes him seem more approachable. He was kind of funny in that. What do you think that accomplished, if anything?
I think it makes him look like a clown, actually. I mean,
How?
First of all, he lies throughout of it, so I guess he gave a side order of lies in the course of whatever he was serving up. The other thing is, it was a complete dad joke.
Dad joke.
I mean, it was a total made-up stuff. They shut the McDonald's down, and then they had supporters practice going through the drive-through. So it wasn't even a day that the McDonald's was open for business. So he was in there in this faux.
Like I said, I don't know any McDonald's that actually closes down for a day. Like I said, it was on Sunday, so maybe the owners, maybe he's religious and he does close on Sundays. That could be, but I don't know any McDonald's that is closed on a Sunday. I don't, and I've been across the nation, and I can tell you there's not one that comes to mind that is closed on a Sunday. I think they're all open. Like I said, the only reason it was closed down is because they had to close it down to make sure the security team was in place and everything was fine. And doing a run through with why not? Doesn't Kamala do run throughs with all the stuff that she does? Sure, I'm sure President Trump does it too. I mean, what's wrong with that? You want to make sure it's get a run through so you know you got it good. I mean, I don't see a problem with that either. I don't do run throughs. I mean, but a lot of big shows do run throughs before they actually do live streams and everything else. So practice makes perfect, I guess. I mean, I don't see a problem with that either.
Sort of shtick that he does. I don't think it was smart of him. I think he should be wanting to talk about the economy and inflation and the border and crime. And here he is dressed up in his red tie and white shirt.
Look, this man does a rally like every other day and talks about the same things that guy just said. So coming to the McDonald's, it's a little change of pace, and it lets him interact with some people, with some voters, and they're making a big deal out of nothing. I don't see the problem.
Shirt at a McDonald's that was shut down for him for him on purpose. And so
what?
I actually don't think it's smart. I think it's stupid strategically for him, because he should be talking about issues that he has an advantage on, not doing this.
He does every day.
McDonald's.
Megan, I saw you said that McDonald's was a humanizing moment for Trump. It has been trending on Twitter. Do you think it helps him?
So I said he threw some salt over his shoulder, and because he's superstitious, that was the humanizing moment. I actually think that going to a McDonald's that was closed down is a campaign stunt. I think that politicians do local stops all the time, and they interact with people who are there, who are ordering food, if it's an ice cream shop or a deli or something, and the employees. I think that this is another moment that he is wasting, not talking about the issues and not talking about the economy.
He talks about the issues every time he gets up and speaks. What's wrong with the change of pace?
Pointing out that she came from a middle class background and understands people who are going through struggles in their economic outlook right now. I think only humanizes the vice president. So I think. I think that this stunt it's successful because it's being played in the media, but again, it's playing to his base, not to the undecided voters who really matter.
Then why are you complaining about it? If you don't think it's talking to the undecided voter, then why even bother bringing it up? Who cares? I think it was cool of him. Do I think it swings anything? Probably not. But who cares? The guy wanted to do it. Let him do it. I'm sure he paid the McDonald's for the time. and he paid for all the meals for the people that came through the drive-through. So I don't. They're making a big deal out of nothing. I think it was cool of him. If it's a political stunt, I don't care. He talked to some people. He talked to the press. I think it's better than a rally, in my opinion. I mean, he has rallies, like I said, pretty much every other day, and to do something like this off the cuff, why not? Let him do his thing. I don't see a problem with it, but they didn't like it. But that's just my opinion on it. All right, so we got Kamala Lala. She had a rally. I forget what day this was. I want to say Saturday or Sunday. Maybe, I'm not sure. But somebody in the crowd, there was a couple of kids, and they were college students, if I remember correctly. And they said, "Jesus is Lord." Shouted it out. People are calling them hecklers, but I don't see what's heckling about that. Pronouncing your love for God, what's. And then she proceeded to tell them that they're at the wrong rally and that they're looking for the smaller one down the street. I think if she had any chance, because I don't think that she was making any headway anywhere. I think she's dropping in the polls very rapidly. She's losing the betting odds by a large margin now. And I think this is just going to make things 10 times worse for her. She is completely alienating anybody that is religious. I mean, she's got Catholics for Harris. That's one of her groups that she's got going for her. I think this completely alienates. And look, she might not have heard what they said, but I've seen clips where you can clearly hear them. I don't know, honestly, maybe she didn't hear them. Maybe her earpiece, they were talking to her and she didn't actually hear them. Maybe she just saw a hat they were wearing. I didn't see that either. Maybe they had a MAGA hat on. I'm not sure. But to come out and just say this, and I haven't seen anything for her coming out saying that she misspoke or it's not what she didn't actually hear them, anything like that. So to see this, I think I think this puts the final nail in the coffin, as it were, for her campaign. Like I said, she wasn't running very strong anymore. She had that jump when she first got, after Biden dropped out, she was pushed into the nomination. She had that little bump, and it ran through the DNC. But after that, she steadily kept falling in the polls and the biting odds. I think there was a week or two where it went up and down for her, but after that, it's been a downfall for her. Every time she speaks, I mean, the Fox interview was horrible for her, and I think every time that she gets up and talks, people just like her less and less. And like I said, I think this might be the final nail in the coffin for them. But we'll take a look at this, and you can let me know.
With the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
And the fact that people cheer for that. Now I understand that she was talking about the abortion thing again. Because really that's what she's running on at this point. She's just trying to pull all the women that she can, and I get it, I guess, but for someone, there was two kids, and I seen a video where they were talking about it. I think they went on to Fox News. I think that's what it was, but they were talking about it, and they said that after they said it, and she told them that they were at the wrong rally and that they were looking for the smaller one down the road. They were being let out, and one of them said he held up his cross that he wears, his necklace cross, held it up and pointed it to her, and then she just waved at him. And he said that she gave him an evil glare, which That I guess he's talking about that right there. But like I said, they were talking about Roe v. Wade and the abortion issue, and I think this is the only thing that she's got going for her now. She's trying to pull all the women that she can because a large majority of women are the voting base in America. So I can understand the strategy on that, but I don't think it's going to help her. Um, I think, like I said, I think this puts the final nail in her coffin, as it were, for that campaign. There's, you can't, when somebody says that and then you respond with, oh, I think you're at the wrong rally. What do you think that does to your, especially like the Catholics for Harris block that you've got? What do you think that says to them? I think this just, I think this does it for her. I think if there was a time in her campaign that just said, well, there it went. That's it. I think that was it. Now, I'm going to show this. This is in contrast to this. This is J.D. Vance talking at a rally, and somebody cried out, somebody shouted out that Jesus is king, I think it was, if I believe so. I think that's what it was. And listen to his response in contrast to what she says.
An anti-Christian approach to public policy. I don't think that we've, that's right, Jesus is king, and I don't think that we've seen.
Now, like it or not, I mean, you can't, I'm religious, and as somebody who is religious, I don't knock on somebody for not being religious. That's their choice. I hope that they find religion at some point. But I don't knock somebody for not being religious. But to alienate somebody, to alienate part of your base, because there's a lot of Catholics, there's religious people out there that are still voting for Kamala Harris, and I think I think that alienated them, and I don't think it's not a good look. It's not going to go over well for her, and I think that's the end of her campaign. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And seeing J.D. Vance come out there and somebody says Jesus is king, and he said, that's right, Jesus is king. That to me, that's the response that I like. Now, if Kamala said something else, if she didn't mock them, as it were, if she didn't mock them and tell them that they were at the wrong rally, she could have handled that. She could have not said anything to them at all, and it would have been better. But no, she had to go off and say, I think you're at the wrong rally. Like I said, maybe she thought she was going to get a soundbite or clicks or something else, but I don't think it's the clicks that she wanted, and I think it's going to be very, very bad. It's bad. But anyway. Oh, gosh. Okay, so Timcast IRL. Like I said, I feel for this guy. Look, because I make videos. I mean, I try to make a couple every week. Sometimes I do a little more, depending on everything that's coming out and what's happening. But I work a full-time job, plus I try to do this. So Tim does this full-time, and I get he has a daily show that he does every morning, and he has the Culture War that he does every day. Well, no, I can't say that. I've actually never watched the Culture War. I just know that he's talked about it. I don't know if he does that every day. I don't know if he does that once a week or a couple times a week, but I know he's got that show too. Plus, he does Timcast IRL every weekday night. So I understand how tiring it can get, and from what I was watching it last night, and I don't really watch him a whole lot. I usually watch him the next day, the Timcast IRL anyway. I usually watch that the next day while I'm at work. I can just put it on and I can listen to it while I work. So that's usually when I listen to him. Last night I was just kind of browsing around and actually put it on because I saw that it said this may be the last Timcast IRL, and it was featuring Dave Landau, who used to be on Steven Crowder. But I put that on and I was like, wow. And he talked a lot about, there's a lot that goes into it. He works 16-hour days, and he's got people that work for him that don't. He didn't want to call anybody out, and I respect that too. But he works hard. He wakes up every morning, and it's just work, work, work. I mean, I get it. The guy's done. It was his 100th or 1,135th episode of Timcast IRL, and 16-hour days for that many shows. That's every day during the week, and I can understand how tired he could probably be, and how frustrated he might get over the people that he's got working for him. But I also think that, what's going to happen to it. He's got a lot of subscribers. And he straight up said, "Look, we're good financially." He said we don't have a problem there. So I wonder what, like I said, I'm not a subscriber, so I don't know what happens to his. I don't know if they get all of his content, or if his Timcast subscribers just get the Timcast IRL, or I don't know about that. So maybe they still get his daily show and, the culture war. And I know he was trying to open a coffee shop for like 2 years, and he hasn't been able to do it because a lot of red tape with the city and everything else. So I understand he's frustrated, he's tired. Maybe he's just going to take a break and come back to it. I don't know. It's one of those things. I'm going to miss his show. I'll tell you that right now. I enjoyed listening to him. I think, because he's not, a lot of people call him, he's right wing. He's not. He's very, very middle of the road. He's even said he's a liberal. He's claimed to be a liberal every time he's talked about it. He's not right wing, but let's take a look at this, and you guys can tell me what you think. But I get it. I can understand where he's coming from, but there's also a lot of questions out there still about this. So,
but yeah, I think this might be the end. This might be the end. Cascade failure. We are well off. It is not a financial thing. We make a lot of money, but piece by piece, the structure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger until it becomes impossible to manage.
Yeah, and
that's kind of where we hit today. So it's like there's a series of, I would never call out anybody personally or individually.
Should.
No.
All right.
There's also legal ramifications to insulting employees.
Oh, that's true.
Well, yeah, there is that.
But I would just say that, like, compounding, I don't know, laziness.
Yeah.
That builds up over time, which adds more and more workload to, me and Allison, to get to the point where we're just like, can't do it. And it's tough because we've this is not a
I get that too, but I also don't know why you couldn't
for a lot of people, they're hearing this right now like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Why is this happening? I was like, oh, we've been talking about this for months.
Yeah.
And then it's fascinating because, like, 3 months ago, we're going over like finances, and I'll break it all down for everybody. We do really well. Our members, you guys seriously do sustain us, and that allows us to have what I would call a safe profit margin every month. That means we're capable, like, we're not worried that if we have a bad month, people are going to get fired or anything's going to shut down like that. And that's why I'm always like, we need members so that we can try and make new things and grow and do bookings and make things good and better and all that stuff. And, the problem is, even with all of that, without a proper CEO who isn't hosting the show, it's not possible.
Yeah, you have to have somebody to go to that's not you.
Yeah, and so
I've learned that on my own show.
So you need a hierarchy like any business.
He can hire somebody,
and we
right? Somebody
we have
he
that.
trusts.
I mean, we don't have that many people.
I mean, that guy there, Raymond G. Stanley, he's one of, he's been super chatting ever since the show started, as far as I understand it. Maybe you could make him into a CEO, somebody you trust. I mean, maybe not him, but somebody that you trust. Maybe, he talked about Allison as his girlfriend. Maybe make her the CEO. That way you could focus on the show and not let her handle the rest of it. Maybe she doesn't want to. I'm not sure, but I mean, you could find somebody that you trust well enough to take over that CEO position, and then you could focus on the shows. But like I said, I mean, it's still a lot of work, and like I said, I understand him being tired. 16 hours a day every day is not. It's not easy. It's hard, and I get it. So, but there's a lot of questions, like I said, still about what happens to the subscribers. Do they still get the regular daily show plus the the culture war? Like I said, I'm not a member, so I can't answer that question. But I would imagine that they have, if they're a subscriber, they have access to the full lineup of his shows. I would imagine. So I guess there's still that. They're still going to get the daily show and plus the culture war, and it's just he's just taking Timcast IRL off. So which, like I said, sucks because I really enjoy it. I mean, I like the conversations that they have with other people, and they bring on guests to the show, and I enjoy the conversations that they have. But
people for his company, it's like I think we have like 30 something employees.
Yeah.
And it's and then like 10 contractors. But it's largely for the external projects that we are trying to do. The issue now is we can get rid of the external projects, and that's a lot of people that are part of the crew and everybody loves. And the challenge thing is like when we go through this and we're like, maybe we need to, we want to increase the buffer, we want to increase marketing. How do we sustain this show? How do we build more memberships? Well, the core product is Timcast the morning show, Timcast IRL, and then the culture where we're trying to make something. And
so that I think that pretty much answered it. So yes, subscribers still have access to the daily show because he just said that's their main show, and the culture war. So he's still got those. If you're a member, you're still gonna have that. I think that answered that right there. So I must have missed that last night when I was watching it, but I think that answered it. I think so you'll still have access to the other shows. It's just Timcast IRL, which still sucks. I mean, like I said, I enjoy the conversations that they have, but
so we got to do marketing, we got to do travel. Well, I can't travel, so if I get invited to go on I can't do it.
Yeah, you can't do
because
any
if I'm not doing IRL, I have to be dealing with paperwork on all these other projects. We've been trying to get a coffee shop open for 2 years. I'm done.
Longer than that.
Over
now.
Yep, over. And so, the conversations I've had with family is like, I am under no illusions that I have the capability to make this company what it could be. And I hear all these things. No, Tim, you're wrong. You're wrong. Oh, come on. We've been trying to get a coffee shop open for 2 years.
Yeah.
Clearly, I cannot do it. My feelings are not hurt when I'm like, I can't do it. I skateboard every day. I'm trying to do a nose mail nollie impossible out. I can't land it. And I'm like, maybe I'll get it one day, but I'm trying as hard as I can. But I am not going to cry and pretend that I can do something I can't do. So, ultimately what it comes down to is we had our like, I don't know, 12th studio failure this morning.
The new one.
Yeah, the new studio failed. And, my attitude with that is kind of just like, yeah, if we can't make cameras and a computer work, and despite all the previous failures we've had, there's not a single person here who can make sure that either the studio is operating or secondary studio is operating. We've gotten to a point in the company where everyone's kind of just kicked their feet up and said, I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Yeah.
And then that just means I'm Sisyphus pushing the rock up. The problem is people are sitting on the rock.
Yeah. Excuse me. Look, like I said, I get it. I understand. He's tired. I mean, like I said, it's 1,135 shows that he's done for Timcast IRL. It's a lot. And 16-hour days is a long time. I mean, I get it. He's tired. And without any support, like he said, people are kicking their feet up and just like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to, and not helping with stuff that they need to, I guess. I don't know. That's what I got from that. But, I mean, I get it. He's tired. Let him take a little break. Subscribers will still have content. They'll still have the daily show and the culture war. So it sucks, like I said, but hey, I understand. There's a lot of people coming after him. The quartering. I like Jeremy. The quartering. I like him. But he doesn't understand why he's doing it. But I get it. I'm not going to fault him for it. He's been doing it for a long, long time. So. That's all I got for today. So appreciate you hanging out if you made it this far, and go ahead and give me a follow and a like, and I'll see you on the next one. Appreciate y'all.